One of my favorite experiences from 2022 was manning the censor button for a popular news show in the hilarious game Not for Broadcast. This was an expertly crafted satire that poked fun at the media, all while proving that working at a TV station can be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the brand new game Salamander County Public Television takes the opposite approach in nearly every regard. It's an abysmal minigame collection that is never funny, never entertaining, and never seems to understand the purpose of satire. This is my review of Salamander County Public Television, one of the very worst games of 2023. Let me try to clear up some of the confusion. As a new hire at the Salamander County Public Television station, it's your job to contribute to the filming of the channel's many different shows in hopes of earning high ratings. Unfortunately, you were hired at the worst possible time because it seems as though every single resident of Salamander County has vanished. Poof! All gone! This is especially bad news for a public TV channel, as you need to have at least a few people tuning in. We're given a month to figure out what's going on and get those ratings back up to an acceptable level, even if that means doing something drastic. The story is largely confined to a parody Slack program called Whack, which allows you to interact with your boss Jeffrey, as well as another new hire named Ember. Wait, hang on. Did I say that we get to interact with them? Well, that's not entirely true, because we're kind of the silent protagonist that doesn't respond to anything in the text chat. Most of the conversation is between the other two employees, who are often revealing pivotal information and telling the player what to do. Other characters that pop in and out of the chat include the station's penny-pinching owner, a mouse with very long legs, and Susan, the customer service representative of a software company named Rambicule. When we're not trying to get to the bottom of all of these mysterious disappearances, you'll spend most of your time playing a couple of dozen mini-games in order to create a daily stream of television shows. These activities include stacking as many ingredients on a burger before it topples over, helping a cat plug in a television, creating as many perfect donuts as you can, mashing up apples with a shopping cart, and even replacing the wheels of your car with mushrooms. The games are silly, random, and almost always over in less than a minute or two. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that these mini-games are very loosely incorporated into the story. These aren't so much TV show ideas as they are activities that are so flimsy that you have to wonder why anybody would even watch this crap. And the way they come up with these so-called show ideas is insulting to everybody involved. Imagine having a group chat about how much you hate pineapple on pizzas, so you end up basing an entire show about vacuuming pineapples off of pizzas. Well, you don't have to imagine, because that's exactly what happens in the game. What's frustrating is there's a genuinely compelling mystery happening during all of this frivolity. You would think that the mini-games would revolve around the idea that the good people of Salamander County have all gone missing, yet that's so far down the priority list that it might as well be an afterthought. Everybody at the TV station understands that nobody's watching, so the fact that we continue to produce these terrible shows is absolutely baffling. Now, let's be honest here, even if the townspeople hadn't up and vanished, they probably wouldn't be tuning in because these show ideas are terrible. They're barely good enough to sustain a minute-long minigame, let alone a full TV show. And that brings us to the other big problem with Salamander County Public Television. It simply isn't funny. This is one of those rare cases where the game is so unfunny that I started to wonder if it was even attempting to make a joke. That is to say, on the surface, it certainly looks like it's trying to parody the kind of public television station that you find while flipping around looking for 2.5 Men reruns. What, with the full motion video commercials and the segments that run between the minigames. The problem is that these bits don't even make an attempt at humor. This is the kind of game that mistakes randomness for a punchline. Now, I'm not saying that can't work, but at least in this case, the developer doesn't even make the effort to create a funny premise.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Salamander County Real Estate's Houses for Sale. The disappearance of all of Salamander County's residents has left the housing market wide open, with lots of amazing opportunities. Let's showcase a few of our finest options in today's episode. First, we have this wonderful home available at 4500 Albuquerque Street. With 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths, you'll find this home fitting for a growing family. It has many amenities that will draw you in, including a large kitchen, dining room, a good-sized backyard, and more. Asking price for this wonderful estate lies at $600,000. If the price tag of a lavish lifestyle is a little out of budget, then we have this cozy home available at 5988 Aztec Drive. The size of this estate perfectly suits someone looking to live a minimalist lifestyle with just the bare necessities. It comes with a bedroom and bathroom, and you could probably fit a refrigerator in the kitchen, mailbox included. Asking price for this cute home is $250,000. For those looking to personalize their home environment, why not take a look at the property on 9802 Pizza Roof Court? This do-it-yourself build allows you to create the home of your dreams with no limitations, as long as you abide by all HOA guidelines. How many bedrooms does it come with? You decide. Asking price is $90,000. Asking price does not include the price of any materials necessary to build your home. Please ask your parents' permission before signing. Batteries not included. Finally, the cream of the crop in Salamander County's housing market. This exquisite property combats the pre-existing notion of having to live in a stationary house. This mobile home gives you the power to decide where you reside. Asking price for such a unique experience is $899.99, plus shipping and handling. Thanks for watching this episode of Salamander County Real Estate's Houses for Sale. Tune in next time where we'll discuss the advantages of living in an underground bunker.
Now, I will say the humor does work a bit better in the group chat, where there's some funny back and forth conversations that really sell the absurdity of the situation. Unfortunately, the jokes are almost always ruined by the awful text-to-speech computer voice that steps on every punchline and just simply doesn't understand comedic timing. I found that the artificial voices really took me out of the situation, and I started to question if I was the only real person in a computer simulation. From the writing, to the acting, to the way the story is structured, nothing about this game comes across as natural. If you were to tell me that this whole thing was written and made by a computer AI, I'd probably believe you. The whole game just feels a little off. For me, the game's biggest sin is that the mini-games simply aren't much fun. Most are easy to learn and take a few tries to master, but even with a slight learning curve, they just aren't any fun to play. Of the 24 minigames in this collection, there isn't one that I would actually want to go back and play. In fact, at least half of them are so bad that I'm happy that I never have to play them again. These minigames are as paper thin as you could possibly get, and even that description is too generous for some of them. They aren't funny or enjoyable, and worst of all, they have almost nothing to do with the television theme. And even if you somehow get invested in the mystery of an entire county vanishing, the resolution of that story is so unsatisfying that you might as well just quit halfway through and make up your own ending. Salamander County Public Television is a satire in search of a target. It's toothless, pointless, and nowhere near as clever as it thinks it is. And even though it's only January, this is already a front-runner for worst game of the year. Yeah, turn off the TV and go outside. Sometimes a game is so bafflingly bad that it forces you to ask a simple question: why was this even made? With its poorly constructed jokes, horrendous mini-games, and a story that feels like it was written by a computer AI, Salamander County Public Television is such a game. This is a game that wants to wield satire like a gun, yet almost always has the safety turned on. It never quite figures out who it's supposed to be making fun of or why, leaving us with a frustratingly aimless ordeal that suddenly ends when it runs out of awful mini-games that are completely unrelated to the TV theme. Salamander County Public Television is the strongest argument yet for why you should cut the cord. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite minigame collection? I'm not talking about any old game compilation, but specifically a collection of minigames. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, I'm taking advantage of the January lull by reviewing some of the late 2022 games that I've been meaning to cover. Those include everything from Valor to Flash Out 3. Look for those reviews later this week. While you wait for that, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,